Hello, my name is Amin Mohammed and I welcome you to yet another episode of It's Your Turn to Speak. And this time we are doing the do's and don'ts of public speaking. Listen, public speaking, as we have treated in the previous episodes, is just not raw like that. People think it is all about going out there and deliver your message. But there are some petty techniques that if you do not take care of, it could be a disaster to your public speaking career. And so I bring to you this afternoon, today, at this particular moment, 5 do's and don'ts of public speaking. Actually 10. 5 do's, 5 don'ts. Yes. And so it's yet another episode of It's Your Turn to Speak. Let's delve on. Number 1, you've got to know your audience. During the foundations of public speaking, I told you the reason why you need to know your audience. I am repeating it today. Know your audience. It is the first prerequisite to public speaking. Knowing your audience inside out will help you plan your message at the right angle to hit the right emotions at your audience point. So, know your audience. Research about your audience. Get to know what they do, who are they. Get to know their educational level, their level of knowledge in the particular topic. After knowing your audience, you've got to do is to plan your speech. Listen, plan your speech from hello to the last bye-bye. Plan your speech from the introduction to the conclusion. The conclusion, planning your introduction to be deep and then planning your conclusion to be strong enough will leave your audience re-energized to, absorb whatever the message you have for them. So plan your speech, plan your speech, plan your speech. And the third time, plan your speech. Again, tell stories. No matter the type of presentation or engagement you are having, make sure you are telling a story, because stories are able to stick in the minds of your audience. Your audience will remember your message through the story you told them, the emotions you evoked in them through the story you told them. So yes, whatever the presentation, either it is about climate change, whatever the topic you are talking on, tell a story. Start on time. Mostly, what most speakers do is that they waste so much time on the preamble that at the end of their presentation, they find themselves rushing through. You don't want that to happen to you, because what I've seen is that most speakers leave the best out of their message for the last. And so start on time. And the last on the do's, be yourself. Listen, whatever the image you are portraying, whatever the character you are portraying to your audience is the message they are sending out there. You don't want to send a fake message of yourself out there. Therefore, be honest enough in your presentation. Be yourself. Make sure you are natural. You don't need to force people to know that this is the kind of personality you have. Whatever the personality you have, as long as it is positive, sell it out. That is it with the do's and don'ts. Now, we delve into the don'ts of public speaking. 5 things not to do. Do not exceed your time. As I said in the do's, remember, you have limited time. Do not waste time on the preamble. Do not exceed your time. People normally say, well, public speakers, if you leave them, they can talk and talk and talk. You don't want people to have that mentality about you as a public speaker. Therefore, be professional enough to be on time. Again, if you are making a presentation using PowerPoint, do not read your slides. Do not read your slides to your audience in the sense that it makes the presentation boring. And so what I normally do is that either I will do bullet points or I will represent my points with pictures. And so when the picture appears, I know the story attached to the picture. That is how I go about my presentation. You've got to do this. You don't want your audience to feel that, you're a boring speaker. Make them feel you by not reading your slides. The third thing on the do's, do not try to impress with jargons. It is good to use jargons, especially if you are speaking to a particular industry, from a particular industry, and you know some of their jargons. It is good to use. But hey, too much jargons prove unprofessionalism, and your audience might not take you serious the next time. It is good to use jargons, but do not use too much jargons to impress your audience. You've got to learn that. Do not hurry and do not rush. Yes, do not be in a hurry and do not rush. As I said, start on time. And starting on time, in order not to exceed your time, do not be in a hurry. I remember one time I met a speaker and she had a very limited time, and so she quickly ran through. She just rushed through her presentation that nothing was, absorbed by the audience. I don't know, maybe from my side. But you know what? After the event, I rushed her and told her, hey, I know that you were working within a very limited space of time. But what you needed to do the next time is that when you have limited time at your disposal, what you need to do is to get the very best points out of your presentation, put them together, and make sure you give it to your audience in a blow, such that the punch hits them and it's spread, and your audience are able to pick whatever the lessons you are trying to convey to them. Therefore, speak at a very comfortable pace. Do not rush through, and do not waste time in your preamble so that it will lead you to rush through during the end of your presentation when time catches up with you. And last but not the least, don't presume your audience don't know anything. One of the worst mistakes you will ever do as a speaker is to presume that you are on top of issues, and so your audience do not know anything. For all you know, there is an expert on the topic you are delivering sitting in the audience, and once you have the mentality that your audience do not know anything, trust me, it hits and you will be doomed. Your public speaking career will end. Do not presume your audience doesn't know anything. And so what I basically do in my presentations is that I let my audience understand that, yes, I'm here to speak to you because I've got some knowledge, but I also understand that we are all learning, and this is a learning space for all of us. And so I'm ready to take from them as they are ready to take from me. That is how I go about my presentation. I don't know. You don't know it all. Seek knowledge and don't presume your audience do not know anything. Yes, these are the 5 do's and the 5 don'ts of public speaking that I think at this particular moment, if you are starting a public speaking career or you have a public speaking engagement, you need to take into consideration. This is Amin Mohammed, and it's another episode of It's Your Turn to Speak. Thank you very much for watching, and please kindly subscribe. Thank you very much for being with us all this while. And hey, remember, we have 2 episodes on the public speaking on this channel. We have the Dare to Pursue, which is motivational messages, insights, and other stuff. You can go on to consume some of these messages that I share in there. And the public speaking, which is It's Your Turn to Speak episodes. Please, thank you very much for watching. Find you in the next episode where I speak to you about how to prepare yourself in an impromptu situation. Imagine yourself attending an event, and then all of a sudden you are called to give a vote of thanks, you are called to give a little word of encouragement, whatever. How do you prepare on the spot as a speaker? In the next episode, that is what we are talking to you about. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best.